So I have a quick temple thought as I'm walking back to the car. And I had a conversation with a friend earlier this evening who pointed out to me that it's very helpful, even when we have a disagreement with others, not always to call attention to that disagreement for the simple reason that there are things that we do agree on and that we need to work together on. And it's very easy to alienate one another just because of our disagreements. It's very easy to become distant from our friends and allies on various topics over those points of division, so to speak. And so we have to be judicious whenever we bring up a disagreement. And I'll admit I think I've been mostly blind to that kind of understanding in the past. And so here's just a point of reflection or introspection is to say at every point when you disagree with someone on something, really pause and wonder, is it necessary to bring this up right now? I understand that we can feel and should rightly feel very passionate about defending and speaking up for the truth, and that's great. However, at the same time, we all know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of a point of criticism that is either unkindly delivered or is factually incorrect, in violation of the truth. And to help us to understand how that works, I think it would be very helpful to reflect just on a time when you've been wrong about something, when you may have been adamant about something, but that you were wrong, right? And just remembering that experience can be difficult to do, especially when we think we're over it, right? And then we think we're right about everything. But just remembering that experience will help us to have compassion for others who might be currently misguided about some things and help us to approach the situation more delicately. And I know I've been critical of certain people in government, notably the current person who's just installed again as governor, Spencer Cox, and he's kind of infamous for his "disagree better" slogan. And sadly, he's not always been, a very shining example of that. And I'm not meaning to guys, preach on that subject against someone's character. But what I do mean to say is when we do find disappointment in that regard, it's very important to be careful not to just fall for the idea that therefore it's not important to be careful as to how we disagree or beg to differ with others. It is important, and we recognize this, I think, every time we're on the receiving end of someone else thinking that they know better than us or something. And so one little thought that occurred to me is when reaching out and trying to help someone see something that you see, I think it is very helpful if you can ask that person, what do they see? And you might not see eye to eye right now because your experiences, your choices, etc., might not permit that just yet. But we can have hope that it is possible. We can certainly believe in that. And I think it is, if you think about it's better received when you come towards them as a friend on your common ground, right? And not with an ultimatum that, well, you better agree with me on everything right now. And this is one of the reasons why it's important that God still speaks, because if anyone takes any finite collection of God's sayings and teachings, there will always be something that a person can find to say, well, I don't know about this other thing, or I don't think it's perfectly clear on this point, right? And we need to give each other the same grace to keep the conversation going, continue communicating with each other. There's not a person in the world that I wouldn't be delighted to be able to have two-way communication with, constructive communication on any worthwhile principled topic, whatever their beliefs on any other topic. If we can see eye to eye on one thing, that's a good thing. Let's keep that. Let's stick with it and build up what's right. Build Zion.